Oh, I found a cool shop. Have a look. Fucking ruined by tourists.
That's her husband.
We are entering right now the checkpoint, as you can see, like entering another country. Entering to the West Bank, there's no problem. Exiting, you have to show papers. So you are right now in Bethlehem. This is where the Palestinians are living.
Get that flag right there, the Palestinian flag.
Right there, we're in Bethlehem, in Palestine, in the West Bank.
We crossed through this like insane fence and checkpoint. I mean, really barricaded in here to make a point that this is divided.
But if you need souvenirs, so we're about to leave this area. Eric and I have been filming around, filming Vinod's tour group here and all the sites. Basically the significance is, if I can get that in focus for you, this is where the angels came and told about the birth and the coming of Jesus Christ. So we're standing at the origin of the Christian religion. This is a church here, which tells the whole story of that origin of the Bible, and we just went inside, and there's even the cave that we went into, which is around the other side of this church, where the shepherds looked after their animals at night. So there we go. We're standing on some very old, controversial, and famous history.
And on the work side, we're battling ISO everywhere. It's super bright and super dark. And we're really struggling to keep it balanced, but we're getting it. It's very cool to go into some of these grottos, but you gotta take the ND filters off. Because this is a behind the scenes of filmmaking, by the way.
In other words, we've got to do our job.
Yeah.
You have to adjust ISO for light and dark areas. And inside cave and outside in the Middle East are two very different ISO areas.
There could be some up-and-coming filmmakers who want to know, how does Eric make his footage so amazing? On the inside, and then hold it up, and then go. Okay. You want to try, Viv? I think your trumpet lips might do a better job than mine.
Sorry.
Yes. Wow.
So now I've walked into a very ancient car park here. In between the walls of the ancient Church of the Nativity, which I believe dates back to 310 or 312. And we're walking in here, but it's packed with cars. It's updated. What I can only imagine was once a marketplace is now a car park. So I'm hitting this a little dark because right between us, in between our heads and over there, is 11th century tiling, mosaics from the period of the Crusades.
This whole entire building is from around 326 AD.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's longest standing.
It is. It's longest standing. Hasn't been destroyed by humans, so win, particularly for this part of the world. And they believe what we're standing on right now is where Christ was born. Also, we have here some remnants. These are also 11th century pylons. And Eric, I think, found a little graffiti.
Crusader graffiti. It's all over the place.
And anyway, we've lost our group. We're supposed to be filming them. So we'll wander back over there.
This is really cool to stand in this kind of history. I know I say that everywhere we go, but I mean, the amount of humanity that flooded over the top of this thing and it's still standing, it's amazing. We don't let things stand like over here,
like
the
here,
floor.
this is part of the original flooring, which is in remarkable condition. So we're basically standing here in what is an ancient picture book. There's two types of stories being told here. The ones in the back here are the old ones, and although it's hard to see, these are the stories from the Bible. And the priest would get up and talk about those stories. So probably a more dynamic church service than we get today. These stories, these pictures up here, tell the story of the Crusades. Most of all of this effort put into creating pictures was because the population was illiterate. Now we're capturing it and telling our own story on YouTube.
That's really cool. So this door here is really tiny to keep people with horses and animals out a long time ago, and also make you bow as you come into the church.
Epic iPhoning. It's like rock steady stuff's really smooth, but I look like a total tourist walking around with this thing. But I do really like it, so I'm giving a rating of so far 8 out of 10 to the Osmo Action. We did discover, fucking guy whistling in my ear. We did discover that the lag is only when you have Rocksteady on. So for those of you who are interested technologically what's going on here, and were annoyed by that if you own one of these, it's just the Rocksteady. Oh, I found a cool shot. Have a look. Fucking ruined by tourists.
That's her husband.
Look, I do really appreciate visiting these very ancient, iconic places, but as you know, we've been to some very remote places and we've been spoiled with having no one around. So it's a bit of a trick for Eric and I to figure out how to get good shots in some of the most popular places on earth. We are walking away from the birthplace of Christ. If you can imagine what this place is like on Christmas Day.
This is the holiest place in Christendom.
But this is the beginning of the story. Right there behind us. It looks like a fortress. There's all these big limestone walls.
Which are probably the churches were fortresses back in the day, because all of them were getting destroyed, except for this particular one.
So we're back on the move. There's people everywhere, not just I mean, even the birthplace of Christ is now turned into a car park.
I'll tell you what, we have a really difficult job out in these really austere environments, getting really great photos, videos out there, but this is much, much more difficult with people and tourism and groups. This is 3 times harder than up in the mountains as far as trying to get the shot. There's a lot to contemplate.
This is tricky. It is also extraordinarily hot right now, and of course we have to stick to the clothing rules. Pants. We have to have pants and covered shoulders and all of that stuff. So we're schwitzing. So there's a hotel across the way, a pretty fancy one. It's called the Manger Square Hotel. because just up the road is the birthplace of Jesus. Although I'm wondering if the irony is set in that the shitty manger that Jesus was born in, that they were denied all the fancy inns and hotels, and yet here is a fancy manger hotel. Is that hitting any chords for you there, Eric?
I think they should have everybody have a room you walk into and it's like a manger.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Bale A for everyone.